Formula One's biggest fights made stars and enemies. In 15 minutes, here's how the hottest rivalries began, boiled over and ended.
I've done a mistake. That is why he has stopped talking to me and we had a sort of war.
Some rivalries give us great racing. These ones gave us crashes, betrayals, and titles decided in fire and rain.
Bottas, round turn 3 we go, and it's Nico Rosberg and Hamilton's onto the grass, and Hamilton's had a massive crash!
If you think F1 is just about speed, watch what happens when pride gets involved.
The World Championship lead. Now what is he up to? He's storming down the pit lane, presumably to go. Look at him! He's saying, "I'm going to the stewards." James, can you enlighten? He's going to Coulthard. He's going to have it out with David Coulthard.
Unbelievable altercation, as you say. Jean Tots there. He's dragged his driver away. Michael is absolutely furious.
Keep your seatbelt tight. Ayrton Senna versus Alain Prost. Same team, same prize, two different minds. Senna lived on the limit. He attacked first and trusted himself to sort it out. Prost was the planner, quiet voice, cold math. Win with the plan, not the punch. McLaren put them in the same car. The garage split. Every small thing felt big. A look, a comment, a setup change. Each man thought the other had the team on his side. It was not just speed anymore. It was control. 1989, Japan, Suzuka. They met at the chicane. Their wheels locked. Both slid off. Prost stopped and climbed out. Senna restarted, fought back and won on track. Then the stewards threw him out. Disqualified. Title gone. The crowd did not know what to think.
And he's going through! Ouch! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic!
Was it hard racing? Was it foul play? The arguments began. 1990, Japan, Suzuka again. Turn 1, no room, no lift, contact.
Grid is clear, the lights go! And Senna sprints away, but Alain Prost takes the lead. It's happened. Alain Prost has taken the advantage. Senna is trying to go through on the inside.
Prost spun out. Senna kept going and took the crown. For some, it was payback. For others, it crossed a line. The truth sits in the middle. Two wills met. Neither moved. Between those crashes were the quiet days that mattered. Long stares across a debrief room. Perfect laps that felt like a punch. A pass into turn 1 that told the other man, "I'm not backing down." They raised the bar for each other, and for everyone else. Count the numbers and you get the clean headline. Prost, 4 world titles.
Knew whether he could make it to the checkered flag, and Piquet piled on the pressure, setting the fastest lap of the race. But Prost managed to cross the line.
He wins the Australian Grand Prix. He wins the World Championship of 1986.
I cannot believe, it's fantastic. I knew that it was possible,
Senna, 3, and speed that looked unreal when it was right. But numbers missed the edge.
As the lights went out, dropping him all the way to 16th place. With his chances of winning a maiden World Championship dwindling, he went on one of the greatest charges in F1 history. Within 20 laps, he was in 2nd place, chasing down championship rival and teammate Alain Prost, and shortly after caught and passed him for the lead, before going on to take the win and secure the 1988 Drivers' Championship. It was a truly remarkable performance.
It feels great, of course. I feel very happy and lighter.
They did not just race. They tried to break each other's rhythm. They tried to own the story. Years later, there was respect. Not friendship, not really, but respect for the fight and for what it made of them. You can like Senna. You can like Prost. You cannot tell F1's story without both. Next, speed meets survival, rain, fire, and a title decided by 1 point. James Hunt versus Niki Lauda, a pit lane in 1976. Hunt is noise, big smile, shirt half open, a cigarette. Lauda is order, quiet steps, notes in a small book.
How are you feeling, Niki?
Fine.
Vicky, can you confirm to us exactly which procedures you've had and the expectations for your recovery?
Sure. I had a skin graft operation, but they put half my right thigh in my face.
They are not the same, but they want the same thing. The car is fast most weekends. Sometimes Hunt finds magic over one lap. Sometimes Lauda builds a race like a wall, brick by brick. They trade wins. The crowd picks sides. It feels fun. It is not friendly. The Nürburgring, old, long, and cruel. Lauda's car hits the barrier and bursts into flames. Drivers stop and pull him out. His lungs are burned. His face is burned. Everyone thinks the fight is over. It is not. 6 weeks later, Lauda comes back. He puts on his helmet over fresh scars. Hunt keeps scoring. The points gap shrinks and grows like a heartbeat. Fuji, last race, heavy rain. Lauda makes a choice. He pulls into the pits and retires. He says the risk is too high. Hunt stays out. He slides, fights, and finishes third. He wins the title by 1 point.
The defending Formula One champion just quit 1976 Japanese Grand Prix. Niki Lauda had made one of the greatest comebacks in sports history, surviving a fiery crash at the Nürburgring just weeks earlier. His face was burned, his lungs damaged, but he returned to fight James Hunt for the title. At Fuji, the rain was brutal. Drivers could barely see in front of them. 2 laps in, Lauda pulled into the pits and got out of the car. "My life is worth more than a championship," he said. Hunt went on to win the race and the championship by a single point. Some called Lauda a coward. Others called him the bravest man in F1.
People argued then. People argue now. Was Lauda too careful or brave in a new way? Did Hunt win on pure speed or because he could live with the chaos? The truth is simple. Both men were strong. Lauda chose life. Hunt chose the storm. They met again years later as friends. Different roads, same respect.
Hunt stays out in those impossible conditions and manages to finish third.
Congratulations, James. Fantastic. Did we really win?
It's enough to win the championship by 1 point, the closest margin in F1 history at that time. The history books record that James Hunt won the 1976 World Championship, but they miss the most important part of the story.
It looks like a story about style. It is a story about will. One man beat the fire. One man beat the rain. Together, they made a season you cannot forget. Next, 2 kids from karts, 1 silver rocket, and a friendship that broke on lap 1. Lewis Hamilton versus Nico Rosberg. Start with 2 kids in karts. Same hotels, same jokes, same dream. Now jump to Mercedes. The car is a rocket. Only one teammate can beat the other. At first it looks fine. 2014, 2015, they win almost every Sunday. But the gap between friends gets thin. A late dive here, a hard squeeze there. Post-race handshakes turn stiff. Smiles fade in the debrief room. You can feel the air change. Then the cracks become loud. Spain, 2016. Lap 1. Hamilton gets the run. Rosberg blocks once. Hamilton tries the inside, drops 2 wheels on the grass, and they touch. Both cars slide into the gravel, double DNF. The team is stunned. The cameras find their faces. No one speaks.
Rosberg and Hamilton's onto the grass, and Hamilton's had a massive crash, and he's crashed into his teammate.
They win more races, but the trust is gone. Austria 2016. Last lap. Hamilton attacks around the outside of turn 2. Rosberg defends deep and wide. Contact again. Hamilton limps home first with a damaged car. Rosberg crawls to 4th and gets a penalty. On the cool-down lap, you can hear the silence. It isn't about points now, it's about pride. Team orders try to cool it. They don't. Starts get tense. Strategy gets tense. Even the radio sounds tight. Every inch of track becomes personal. Rosberg stays tidy where it counts. He nails his launches. He keeps the math on his side. He takes what the car gives and nothing more. Hamilton fights back with wins that look impossible, but the early damage sticks. Abu Dhabi is a chess game with the whole world watching. Hamilton backs the pack up. Rosberg does not blink. The flag falls. The title is Rosberg's. Days later, he retires, walks away on top. Shock, respect, debate. Did he run from another war, or did he finish the one he came to fight? Maybe both. This is the cost of a 2-car empire. Speed, pressure, and a friendship that could not survive the same garage. Next, team orders, a 3-word code, and a pass that froze a whole garage. Nelson Piquet versus Nigel Mansell. Late 1980s, Williams had the fastest car. 2 stars shared it, Nelson Piquet and Nigel Mansell. Piquet played mind games. He used the press. He mocked Mansell, even his family. Mansell didn't back down. He was brave and flat out fast. The garage split. Every meeting felt tense. Every race felt personal. On track, the car flew. Many Sundays, a Williams led. Mansell attacked. Piquet managed. One went for the move. The other played the long game. 1986 came down to the last race. Mansell was in the title fight. Then his rear tire blew at high speed. Chaos. Pit calls. The door opened for Alain Prost, who took the championship. Williams had the pace, but the crown slipped away. In 1987, the fight continued. Mansell had huge speed again, but late in the season, he crashed in Japan and hurt his back. Season over. Piquet, steady on points, became champion. That's the story. 1 team, 2 winners, no peace. They brought trophies and pressure in equal amounts. You can win a race and still lose the room. Next, a promise at Ferrari, a pass that broke it, and grief that ended the story. Gilles Villeneuve contra Didier Pironi, Ferrari, Imola, 1982. The pit board said slow down, bring both cars home. Gilles Villeneuve thought it meant hold position. Didier Pironi did not. He passed him. Villeneuve felt tricked. He had raced Pironi clean all year. He thought the win was his. On the cool-down lap, he didn't wave. In the garage, he didn't speak. He said he would never speak to Pironi again. 2 weeks later came Zolder. Villeneuve went out in qualifying, still angry, still fast. He tried to catch a car ahead. He hit a slower car, lifted into the air, and crashed. He died that day. The paddock froze. Fans cried. The team broke. And the question stayed. If Imola had gone to plan, would Zolder be different? No one can answer that. They still try. Months later, Pironi's own career ended. Hockenheim, heavy rain, testing. He hit another car he could not see through the spray. His legs were crushed. He lived, but he never raced in F1 again. This rivalry has no winner. It is a story of a promise broken, a friendship cut in half, and a team that paid the price. On some days, Formula One is a fight. On other days, it is a wound that never fully heals. Next, the heat cools to spite. Hamilton versus Massa, 2011. 6 collisions, sharp words, and a season that turned every corner into a shove. Lewis Hamilton versus Felipe Massa, 2011. This one often gets missed, but in 2011, they kept finding each other, again and again. It started early. A late move here, a tight squeeze there. Then it snowballed. Monaco, Singapore, India. They touched so many times that TV began keeping count. Stewards gave penalties. Teams traded barbs. In one clip, after a crash, Massa walked up and patted Hamilton's helmet. Small gesture, big message. The room felt ice cold. Why did it flare? Hamilton was pushing to fight at the front on bad days. Massa was fighting to protect his space after a tough run of seasons. 2 drivers on edge, 2 cars in the same piece of asphalt. That's all you need. By year's end, the anger faded. Their careers moved in different directions. But 2011 still reads like a case study. When form dips and pressure spikes, every corner looks like a dare. Next, a rookie walks in, matches a double world champion on day 1, and the room explodes. Sebastian Vettel versus Mark Webber. Red Bull had the fastest car. 2 drivers wanted to be king of the same room. It did not break in one day, it creaked first. Small digs in the press, side-eye and briefings. A front-wing swap at Silverstone 2010 turned into a headline. Webber won and dropped the line. Not bad for a number 2. That told you everything. The years after were a tug of war. Vettel had the titles and the raw pace. Webber had grit and a chip on his shoulder the size of a front wing. They raced hard, sometimes too hard. The team tried to hold the center. Then came Malaysia 2013. Late in the race, the call comes over radio. Multi-21. Hold position. Webber first. Vettel second. Vettel passed him anyway. No lift. No doubt. On live TV, Webber stared and said, "Multi-21, Seb." The air in the garage turned to ice. After that, there was no hiding. Every strategy meeting felt like a court case. Webber finished the year and walked away from F1. Vettel stayed and kept stacking wins. Fans argued about who was right. Team orders protect points. They do not protect pride. When two alphas share one pit wall, a 3-word code is not a seatbelt. Next, mind games with no filter, insults that cross the line, and a title fight run in frostbite. Fernando Alonso versus Lewis Hamilton, 2007, Day 1. McLaren sign a 2-time champ. They also give a seat to a rookie who is fast from the first lap. Same car, same target. The timesheets say, "This will get loud." Early races feel like a test of nerve. Alonso expects space. Hamilton takes none. They trade poles. They trade wins. Fans pick sides. The garage feels split down the middle. The tear. Hungry. Qualifying. Hamilton won't let Alonso through on track earlier in the session. So in the pit box, Alonso sits and sits. The clock dies while Hamilton waits behind him. Hamilton misses his final lap. The crowd hears the radio. The world sees the stare. That was the moment the room broke. Now every small thing bites. Setups become politics. Briefings feel like trials. And above it all, the Spygate noise makes the team heavier by the day. They are fast enough to beat everyone else. They are too busy fighting each other. The bill. They finish the year tied on points. Neither gets the crown. Kimi Räikkönen takes the title by 1. Alonso walks after 1 season. Hamilton stays and wins the very next year. That's the lesson for new fans. 2 alphas, 1 house, no peace. You can have the speed. If you don't have the room, you lose the war you were built to win. Next, 1 corner, 1 season. Schumacher versus Hill, and the move fans still argue about. Michael Schumacher versus Damon Hill, mid-1990s. Williams versus Benetton. Damon Hill wanted to bring Williams back on top. Michael Schumacher wanted to stay there. All year in 1994, the fight was tight. Then came Adelaide. Schumacher brushed the wall and slowed. Hill saw a gap and dived to the inside. They touched. Both cars were damaged. Schumacher stopped on the spot. Hill tried to continue, but the suspension was bent. He retired. Schumacher became world champion. Right away, the paddock split. Was it hard racing? Was it a block? One corner started an argument that still lives today. The heat carried into 1995. Schumacher won again, and the gap looked bigger. But Hill didn't walk away. He kept working, kept leading from the front when the car was ready. In 1996, the tables turned. Williams had the faster car. Hill drove clean, kept the points rolling in, and took the title. It wasn't flashy. It was calm and smart. Exactly what 1994 had taken from him. This rivalry is simple to tell and hard to judge. One well-timed move, one hit, one season decided. Then 2 years later, a payback that didn't need a crash, only laps done right. Next, the king of an era versus the man who would not blink. Montoya versus Schumacher. Juan Pablo Montoya versus Michael Schumacher. Ferrari ruled the early 2000s. Most drivers gave Schumacher room. Montoya didn't. From his first season, he went wheel to wheel with the champion. If the door was open an inch, he tried the move. Brazil 2002 was the example. Bold pass attempts, elbows out, zero fear. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it ended in contact. But the message was the same. I'm here to fight. Schumacher had the titles, the team, the rhythm. Montoya brought shock value, late braking, wide stance, big confidence. He would sit in Schumacher's mirrors and refuse to blink. And when the red car tried to control the pace, Montoya tried to break it. Did Montoya win the era? No. Ferrari's machine was too strong. But he changed the tone. He proved you could attack the king and keep your head up. He walked away with fewer trophies, and a reputation that still feels loud today. 2 different kinds of power. One that wins every Sunday, and one that makes the champion look over his shoulder. Sometimes a rivalry doesn't end with a title. Sometimes it ends with a point proved. Rivalries make this sport. They turn speed into stories we can't forget. Fire, rain, team orders, and one move that flips a season. Drop the feud we missed, or the moment you still argue about. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next lap.